Today we'll be talking about how is tryptophan arrest broken at puberty, right? So those things we'll be talking about. So we have talked about the zona pellucida. Okay, one special thing is there that I'll stress on a little bit in today's class. Yes. So we have talked about one thing known as the what I was saying was zona pellucida. Okay. So suppose this is the primary oocyte. Now, I told you that in case of primary follicle, it is surrounded by this cuboidal epithelial cells, right? They're also known as follicular granulosa cells. This is what was told. Now, in this case, what happens is there is another layer. Okay, the layer is here. This thing. This is known as zona pellucida. Very, very important. You can write down zona pellucida surrounds. It surrounds the primary oocyte. Primary oocyte. Okay. And the granulosa cells or follicular cells and the primary oocyte are, you can say, demarcated or divided by zona pellucida. Okay. Now, what is zona pellucida made up of? Again, it is acellular. Very, very important for competitive exam. It is acellular, means not a single cell is present. No cell. Okay, means proteoglycan and glycoproteins. Proteoglycans and glycoproteins. That is the composition of zona pellucida. Okay. Always remember this fact. This is known as zona pellucida, okay, which directly surrounds the primary oocyte. And its significance, if you want to know why is it present. Okay, again the thing is why is it present? In biology, everything has why associated with it. Now its significance is, and that will be described in later classes. I'll just give you an intro for that. Suppose a sperm comes in, it has to bind with ovum. Getting the point? Now, how will sperm bind with ovum? There must be some recognition, right? Otherwise, the sperm can bind to the epithelial cells present in the, you can see, endometrial tract, or it can bind to some connective tissue cells, fibroblasts and all. It can bind to the nerves, the axons, right? It can bind to any other cell type, right? My question is, why does the sperm only bind to ovum and upon binding to ovum cause acrosomal reaction? Acrosomal means you might be knowing the sperm has acrosome on its tip and it will release enzymes to break down the ovum and to make a hole in the ovum, you can say, and send in its genetic material into the ovum. So why not? The question is, why not the sperm binds to any epithelial cell? Okay, epithelial cell, and this is a sperm. Why not it binds to an epithelial cell and causes acrosomal reaction, or any neuron or any fibroblast and all that? Got my question? Is it clear? The question, Anshika, Anuj, Anurag, Ayushi, is it clear? The question?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Try to answer. The truth is the question clear, Rishti, that why does it not bind to any other cell type? Okay, so this is how we become conceptual biologists. The thing is, in biology, we don't have eyes. We have eyes only for looking at the outside world, for visualizing the outside world. But our cells and our tissues, they don't have eyes. Still, they recognize each other by receptor ligand interaction, receptor interaction. Okay, meaning that this zona pellucida, okay, it has got some specific receptor. It has got some specific receptors on its surface. Okay, they are known as ZP receptors, zona pellucida, ZP1. Then you will read about ZP2, ZP3, ZP4. These are the specific receptors which are only recognized by the acrosome and the sperm. And then this acrosome will release the acrosomal enzymes. Okay. As long as the sperm binds to the ZP receptors, then and then only it can go for the acrosomal reaction. Otherwise, it can never go for acrosomal reaction. Always know this fact. Okay. Otherwise, no acrosomal reaction will happen. So this receptor is only present on zona pellucida. It is not present on epithelial cells. If by genetic engineering, okay, we can do a lot of manipulations in biology. If by genetic engineering, if I put this ZP1 receptor on epithelial cell, then sperm would bind to epithelial cell as well. So that you can say that is the demarcation point. Okay, always know. We can do it to prove the theory. Okay, this is how scientists can prove this theory in the lab. Okay, so the receptor for sperm regulation is only present on zona pellucida. So that is why it is very, very important. Otherwise, sperm will not come and bind to the ovum. Okay. Zona pellucida. Now, we have talked about, you can say, primary follicle. Then we have talked about secondary follicle as well. Secondary follicle was what? It was surrounded by, that is surrounded by two layers of follicular cells. Single layer, primary, Secondary is double layer. Then what comes in? Something known as membrana granulosa. This is the basement membrane. Also known as membrana granulosa. This is also acellular, but its work is to connect epithelial tissue to the connective tissue. This is the connective tissue. Theca interna, remember. This comes from the stroma layer of the ovary. Layer number 1 of connective tissue, theca interna. Layer number 2 is theca externa, again derived from the stromal layer of the ovary. Okay, so this is theca externa, both are connective tissue. This is theca interna. Okay, so now this is the secondary follicle complete. Okay, after this, what will happen? Now understand the point. They have LH receptor. Okay, they have LH receptor. They have FSH receptor. Okay, always know. So when FSH binds, okay, to this one, then they will also release some kind of liquid cavity formation. I told you in yesterday's class. Cavity will be formed, that is known as liquor folliculi. The cavity is known as, cavity contains the liquid known as liquor folliculi. And FSH, I told you in the last subject, did I talk you about, or talk about this one? Aromatase. Did I explain that concept? Aromatase 1, aromatase FSH1 concept in the last class. Anurag, did I explain this one? Aromatase 1?
Yes, sir.
So that is
Yes,
how,
sir.
okay, so it will secrete aromatase, and this one will secrete testosterone or androstenedione. Okay, so aromatase will convert this to 17 beta estradiol. Just revising it for you. Then 17 beta estradiol will act autocrine on the same cell and will take it off the meiotic stage, because it will block the gap junctions. So cyclic GMP cannot come in. If cyclic GMP cannot come in, it cannot inhibit phosphodiesterase 3A. If it cannot inhibit this one, then phosphodiesterase 3A will break down cyclic AMP to convert it into AMP. And cyclic AMP was the one which was inhibiting mitotic promoting, maturation promoting factor, right? Now maturation promoting factor is uninhibited or non-inhibited. Now diplotin arrest is broken. Now you will be having more and more LH coming in case of ovulatory phase, and ultimately the ovum will come out along with zona pellucida. Okay, that is known as ovulation. Okay, so Graphian follicle is having antrum. I told you about that cumulus oophorus cells also, and you can say the mural granulosa cells as well. Okay, so after this we can go to the next stage known as spermatogenesis. Okay, spermatogenesis. So in case of spermatogenesis, what happens is, it is a very simple event. Spermatogenesis happens in males, that we all are aware of, formation of sperms in one day. Okay, It results in the formation of 150, okay, to 275 million spermatozoa. 150 to 275 million spermatozoa, okay, which will later on become functional sperms. First we call it spermatozoa because they are not really able to, you can say, go through the ovum. Okay, the sperm which is produced in the male body, if I put it in front of a female ovum, it cannot penetrate the female ovum. Okay, it is said that spermatozoa are not capacitated, means they are incapable, not capable of fertilizing ovum. This capacitation takes place in the female reproductive tract. I'll explain later on. There are specific changes, cholesterol, lipid raft, okay, changes happening in the plasma membrane of the sperm. It takes place in the female reproductive tract. So out of 3 to 500 million, at least 50% they are not capacitated only. So they are useless. Okay, some are getting capacitated. They can only fertilize the ovum. So one thing I'll tell you, this process begins in the seminiferous tubules of the testis after the onset of puberty. Okay, seminiferous tubule. So we'll talk about seminiferous tubules as well if the time permits today, or we'll go into its detail tomorrow. Okay. So just remember, for now it happens in seminiferous tubules. Okay, there are multiple seminiferous tubules in each lobule of the testis, and in total there will be, you can say, thousands of tubules present. Okay, in case of our testis. Okay, within the tubule like this, these are the tube-like structure. Okay, just imagine, just like you have taught you about the loop of Henle and proximal convoluted tubule, right? So like that, we have seminiferous tubule, little bit coiled. Okay, they are little bit coiled like this. Okay, within them, testis gets produced. Sorry, within them, these sperms are getting produced. Okay, they have another cell type within the seminiferous tubules known as Sertoli cell. Okay, later on we'll talk about this cell also. That is known as Sertoli cell. You might have heard about it. Also known as sustainacular cells. One more cell type is there, that is known as Leydig cell. Okay, this produces testosterone. Leydig cell. Okay, and this helps in sperm production. Okay, so we'll go about it. How does it happen? But let's start with more, you can say, basic stuff. One question I'll ask, that in case of males, males can make any woman pregnant at any age. Meaning that suppose you are 80 years of age, a man is 80 years of age. Considering he is non-diabetic and completely fit, no cancer, no hyperlipidemia, no cholesterol excess in the body, they are completely fit and all. Okay. Now, if they are completely fit, he can make a 16-year-old girl or 20-year-old girl pregnant because he is producing sperms. But in case of females, after they have hit menopause, means after 50, 55 years, she can no longer get pregnant. So the question is, females lose reproductive ability at menopause 50 to 55 years. Males, they retain their reproductive ability. Means females cannot ovulate. Question is what? Female, I told you only 400 remain. That reserve is over. Okay, means there are no more follicles for ovulation. Means females, you can say females cannot ovulate after menopause. And why did they hit menopause? Because all the 400 primary follicles got over. Primary follicles have ovulated already. So there are no more follicles which are remaining. No follicles are remaining. So the stock is over. Okay, so how will they make new ovum? They cannot. But in case of males, males can produce, can synthesize sperms throughout their life if they are fit, considering that they are fit throughout their life. So there is nothing known as, you can say, reproductive pause or menopause in case of males. There is no pause. Okay, we have the starting. We can relate that menarche is present in males, but males don't bleed. So menarche means males have started to produce sperms, but there is no menopause in case of males. Okay, males will not cease to produce sperms in any normal condition. In case of a healthy male, they will not cease to produce sperm. The question is why? Who can answer? Why can the males produce sperms throughout their life? Right? अनुराग ट्राई करो. मानसी, वशिष्ठी. Right. Hemantika, any answer? Why can males produce sperms throughout? Any answer? Any postulate? अनुराग ट्राई करो. अनुराग, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
ट्राई करो. कुछ तो होगा. Something must be there, right? क्या होगा? There is something known as stem cell. Might have heard of stem cell in class 11, right? So
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, तो होता सब stem cell है, but the thing is males, they continuously have stem cell. I'll tell you how. देखो, in case of females, the primary oogonium, okay, which produced from the fetal cell is a stem cell. Okay, but what did the primary oogonium did, or what did the primary oogonium do? The primary oogonium got converted to primary oocyte. Okay, this will be converted to secondary oocyte. Okay, so this is a stem cell, but it is getting converted to this one. So the primary oogonium reserve is reducing or not, which is also a stem cell, but it is getting converted to secondary oocyte. Its reserve is getting over or not, right? Suppose there are 100 primary oocytes. Every time it is getting converted to secondary oocyte. So each cycle every cycle one primary oocyte is getting reduced. This is happening. In case of males, what will happen is they have something known as type A spermatogonia, just like we had oogonium. So type A spermatogonium. Okay, type A spermatogonium is the stem cell which will give rise to only sperms. So they are known as unipotent stem cells because they will not give rise to any other cell. Stem cells can give rise to any other cells, but they are unipotent stem cells. Okay. In most of our organs, we have unipotent stem cell. In neurons, we have neuroprogenitor cells. In cardiac muscle fibers, heart, we have cardio myocyte progenitor stem cells. Okay, they are present. So these stem cells will do what? They will first undergo, you can say, mitosis. And when it undergoes mitosis, it forms what? Type A spermatogonium. Again, type A spermatogonium. How many are produced? Two. Just look at this concept. Type A spermatogonium. Now, there are two types of spermatogonium produced from one type of spermatogonium. So two type of spermatogonia are produced. Now, one of them will differentiate, okay, via mitosis. It will differentiate, okay, into type B spermatogonium. Now this type B spermatogonium will produce later on sperm, or we can say spermatozoa. Okay, so this is the reason. What is the reason? We are recharging this stem cell. So this stem cell number is not getting depleted. We are not letting it become, or we are not letting it to, or we are not letting it deplete. Okay, I can just say we are not letting it deplete. So its number remains constant or not? There was one divided into two, the other one it made is sperm. So one remained one. Suppose there are 100 stem cells, they will remain 100 throughout the life of a male. So again in the next cycle, this will again become type B, type A. Now B can again become sperm, right? A is A, you have A. It is not like type A is becoming type B directly. It is recharging itself, right? Suppose I have rupees 500, I make a copy of that first, two 500 notes, and then one I give to any one of you. Anurag, I give him one. But am I losing 500 rupees? No, I have same amount of money. Okay, so I'm not getting poorer because I can give him 500 on daily basis without going to bank and withdraw. Okay, that is the type of system that sperms have. Okay, they keep on recharging, but the thing is, in case of ladies or females, this mechanism is absent. Okay, understood how it happens? Why can males produce sperms throughout their life? Any questions? Prakriti, Prasisti, Sapna, any question? Ayushi? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we'll go to the stages of spermatocyte. Okay, sorry, sperm development. One thing know that all spermatogonia, okay, they are completely surrounded by the processes of Sertoli cells, okay, which are distributed throughout the seminiferous tubule epithelial cell lining. Okay, so just understand this concept for today. One more great concept I'll tell you. This is seminiferous tubule. Okay. Now, suppose these are the spermatocytes. Okay. spermatogonia. Now everything is surrounded by Sertoli cell, huge cells. These are the processes like that. You can say Sertoli cell. Okay. So small ones are there. You can make one more here. Sertoli cell. One Sertoli cell process like this. Another process like this. So it will surround. Okay. Perfectly it will surround. So these are the Sertoli cells we can see. And these are the processes, the invaginations of the plasma membrane. These are known as the processes. Suppose this is the plasma membrane. If this is produced like this, so these are the microvilli-like or cilia-like processes. So they are known as processes of the plasma membrane. Okay, nothing. Processes are these only. Invaginations in the plasma membrane. So the processes they surround the developing sperm. Okay, that is what I told. The Sertoli cells they surround they pack and surround. They completely pack and confine. Okay, the processes the Sertoli cell processes surround and pack the developing sperms. Again, question is why? Why do they pack the developing sperms? Just imagine how is the sperm produced? The type B spermatogonia, just like ovum, will undergo what? Meiosis, ultimately giving rise to spermatozoa or sperms. Meiosis has a stage known as Pachytene stage. What happens in Pachytene? Crossing over or homologous recombination. When you have crossing over occurring, you are changing the genes, overlapping genes, exchanging the chromosomal arms, you are giving rise to new genetic combinations. So new genetic combinations will give rise to newer proteins. So sperms will have the proteins expressed on the cell membrane which are not present in the male body. It will have its own unique proteins because its genetic makeup is different. And since it has got unique proteins, the immune system of the male body, the T helper cell, the B cells, will, if it detects the sperm, it will think that this sperm is non-self because it is presenting or containing other proteins. That is how the immune system demarcates between a bacteria and our own body. It does not kill our own liver cells, but it kills the bacteria, the viruses. The same mechanism, self and non-self. So spermatozoa or sperm also has got some unique proteins. It will think that sperm is not my own cell. It will kill the sperm. Same thing will happen to ovum in the females. It is also being produced by meiosis. That is why Sertoli cells they pack the sperm so that the T cells and B cells can never interact with the sperm. The nutrition through the blood can only reach the sperm via diffusion. The cells do not come in contact, or immune cells or leukocytes, they do not come in contact with the sperm at any cost. Otherwise, the sperm will be killed. So this is known as blood Sertoli cell barrier. It will not let blood directly interact with the sperm. All the nutrition from the blood will diffuse through the Sertoli cell to the sperm. Not directly blood cells will act or interact with the sperm. Because if blood comes and interacts, blood will have leukocytes, T helper, B cell and all. So especially T helper cells will recognize and make B cells make, you can produce antibody, macrophage produce cytokines and eventually kill the sperm. Okay. So the sperm, because of meiosis, it doesn't have identical genetic expression as that of the male body. Okay, it has got its own genetic expression. So immune system can recognize it as non-self due to technical differences, due to genetic differences. Okay, that is why Sertoli cells are of maximum importance. Okay, they produce the, or they pack the sperm and produce, or they create the blood Sertoli cell barrier. Very, very important concept. Now, is it clear? Any doubt? Anyone has any doubt, you can ask. Most important concept, blood Sertoli cell barrier here. Prakriti, any doubt? Prasishti, any doubt? Anyone else? Ayushi, Anshika, Harshvardhan, any doubt? Sapna, any questions? Prakriti, do you have any question?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
No. Prakriti, any question do you have?
No, sir.
Okay, then so we'll meet tomorrow and discuss more about the testis, histology, anatomy, and then we'll jump into the sperm synthesis or spermatogenesis process. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.